Sabla Riyami, and we have special ladies for you today to celebrate the International Women's Day. We have Haifa, who is our finance director. In fact, she is the youngest MDC member.
Colleagues, my name is Haifa Al-Khaifi and I am the finance director of PDO.
Then we have Azza Zakwani. She is the first Omani woman pilot.
Okay, my name is Azza Zakwani. I'm the first Omani pilot.
We're very happy to have her here today. Is Buthaina Mahrouqi, and she is the first woman from PDO to conquer Antarctica.
My name is Buthaina Mahrouqi. I've been working in PDO for over 7 years.
Thank you very much. Use the time wisely to learn from these special ladies.
I am told that the Hawa mission is to help women in PDO to help themselves.
I got married when I was very young, 16 years old. And I got divorced when I was very young as well, 19 years old. And my life was over.
I got married when I was 18. Had my firstborn when I was 19. I was studying even, with children.
I graduated from the United States with a Bachelor of Science degree in marketing, a minor in interpersonal relations from the Department of Counseling Psychology.
I worked in the petroleum department for 5 years, and I said, since I have a computer engineering background, why don't I try and go to the computer department? And then that's when I moved. It was very difficult because everything that I have learned for the past 5 years, I had to leave it behind.
You know about our culture. When you're married and divorced and you have a baby so young, your life is over. Mine was not over. I said, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna change my life. And my dream was to be a pilot. Okay, I didn't have the money to go and study, but it was my dream.
And in '95, my dream came true. I joined PDO. I have wanted to join this company since I was 12 years old. I was inspired by my father. He was a nurse in Marmoul working for PDO. He always talked about PDO in such a positive light that I knew this place was for me.
This colleague of mine went to Antarctica and he did a presentation on Antarctica. And the minute I saw his presentation, the pictures, it was so amazing.
I worked at the airport as a load controller. I used to balance the aircraft for takeoff and landing. It was my dream because I see pilots every day. Whenever I go there, I'm happy.
You can see all those beautiful white glaciers and the animals and the wildlife, and it was just so amazing. And every time I saw his presentation, I was like, I wish I can go there.
In 2000, my first sacrifice as a woman started, and I went to London. I pursued my Chartered Institute of Management Accounting Studies, so I'm a qualified accountant, alhamdulillah, and I worked for Shell. It was just the beginning.
Then I decided to go to New Zealand. I went to New Zealand and I did my studies there. I completed in 2005, graduated, came back, and then I got pregnant. I had a baby girl. Her name was Noura. And my firstborn was Saeed. After that, I joined Omania when she was 6 months old. It was very difficult for me because I was the first Omani lady.
But I had my fears. I'm a woman, I'm Omani. There's no woman who had gone at that time from Amman. And I don't know, it seemed so difficult. I'm overweight, maybe I cannot do it, maybe. Well, yeah, it's true. I mean, they're hiking in mountains and...
That was my first child. I had no idea how to even change diapers because unlike maybe some of you, I didn't have younger sisters. My sister's 9 years older than me. With a month-and-a-half-old baby, I was already back in the office. And for both my children, alhamdulillah, I did nurse for 2 years. But it was a challenge, and if anybody tells you it's easy, it's a piece of cake, you know what? They're not telling you the truth. The truth is, it is difficult. You have to persevere and you have to work very hard. The good news is, it does get a little bit easier with experience.
The men would not accept it for me being there. They would always comment, this is men's job, this is men's job, you're supposed to be home cooking. But I didn't care, I would still work hard. It was extremely difficult for me.
How many colleagues do you know that work so hard during the day and then at night leave to sleep with their aging parents or sick children in the hospital. There have been times when I've called into teleconferences at work from an emergency room in the hospital with my child. Sometimes there are stereotypical attitudes. If you have a career, you must not be a good mother, you must not be a good wife. There are also other stereotypes. A man is assertive, a woman is aggressive. A man is expressive, a woman is emotional. Why? Why that distinction?
At that time, I spoke to my family, my parents and my husband. Well, they never took me seriously. You know, my dad, he was like, what do you want to do with those crazy adventures? You know, this is dangerous. And my husband, when I told him, I told him I want to go to Antarctica. He's like, okay. But I told him, but I have to get support. I have to get financial support. I have to get fundings. He's like, okay, fine. If you get support, then go. He never took me seriously either.
In 2004, I moved to Dubai with my family. I worked for Shell, this time for the gas and power sector. I was the regional manager for planning and reporting. I looked after the Middle East, North Africa, and South Asia. You see the little baby icon? It was a very productive assignment. My Safana was born there, and that was equally a challenge because with a regional role, there was quite a bit of travel that was required.
I started. I was like, fine, I'll do it. And I keep on telling them, people, I'm serious, I want to go. But they never ever thought that I'm going to do it. And that's when I started to look for fundings. And guess what? It was not easy. But I was so blessed that I tried hard. I went through a lot of organizations, a lot of companies.
But I didn't care, you know. I would still work hard. It was extremely, extremely difficult for me. But I overcome everything because landing was the most difficult part in my, you know, when I was studying. I could not land the plane. Every time I come close to the ground, I would close my eyes. You know, I was so scared that I could not do it. And every time they used to tell me, if you close your eyes, how are you going to land this plane? But that was something I was so scared of. But I tried, I overcome, and now I've landed as many times, thousands of times, which is nothing. But it's something that I was so scared of doing it. I want to fly and I can't land the plane.
I don't see it as a discrepancy between work and life. My children actually help me with work. Sometimes I practice my presentations on them. And you know what? Children tell the truth. When they're bored, they'll say, Mommy, you're being boring. You know, can you kind of spruce it up a little bit? So they're part and parcel of my work, and work is part and parcel of their lives.
I've never hiked before. I'm not an adventurist. I don't do camping. I don't do any of those adventurous stuff. This was my first thing to ever do it. It was just, you know, I don't know, it was the craziest thing I've ever done in my life. After 2 days, we get down and we start getting on Zodiacs, and our first landing to Antarctica. It was the most beautiful, beautiful scene, better than the pictures that I saw.
In fact, on the day of my birthday, I took over as the finance director of PDO. I just want to give you a very quick glimpse about the scope of this role. I am responsible for $5 billion per annum of PDO spend in both the oil as well as gas sector. I have 357 people in my directorate, and I'm proud to see there are many of them here today. Thank you very much for your support.
And that's it. I mean, it's extremely difficult for women to do things that women don't do, especially flying. Even if you read books around the world, it's only 7%. It's not a big number, so it's extremely difficult.
I was very proud to carry my flag, the Omani flag, and PDO's flag. And yeah, I did it. I mean, it's so unbelievable. I'm so happy.
The key message is not to feel guilty to ask for help.
Whoever wants to do something, don't give up. Try. Don't say, you know, 10 years I'm trying to be this, but I can't, that's it, I'm giving up. Don't give up. You know, God will help you. It's not about luck. You know, I don't say, oh, I'm very lucky because somebody took me and paid for my studies. No. I met 7 men in New Zealand. They couldn't do it. Even they had financial. So it's something you want, just keep it with you. Try to do it.
When all else fails, when no one believes in you, when no one's going to carry you, guess what? God is there.
You do your own planning and you try hard and you see where it takes you, but it's God who will help you get to wherever you are. You do your best. You try whatever you.
I don't want you walking out thinking you'll lay down in the middle of the road and say, well, God's going to protect me, right? That's not what we're saying. Yeah. So I just want to echo what you said, is you have a goal. You have to almost obsess about that goal. You want it, you go out and you get it. And if you're very genuine in what you want to get, I don't think God will not help you.
Don't listen what people tell you. Listen to your heart. You know, it doesn't mean if you're divorced it's the end of the world. No.
There'll be ups and there'll be downs, and sometimes the downs will be so low that you won't think that there's a high. So, if you have the mental resilience, you can bounce back no matter how low the low is.
So you have to balance, you have to sacrifice. If you cannot have everything, you know, I fly, I go out with my husband, I go cinema, I have friends, I go weddings. No, you have to sacrifice in life, you have to.
Physical endurance. I'm not sure how many people exercise and so on and so forth, but for me it's something that works. I run twice a week because it gives me energy, because it gives me a release. It's my time, it's my space. It's something that really works for me. And from a work context, the reason why it works is because when you have a team to look after, when everybody's tired, typically you have to be the last one standing. You need to have that stamina, and you cannot let your team down.
And in future, my plan is to come and work for His Majesty. That is my future plan. If it doesn't work, I'll stay home and have more babies.
So, yeah, you know what you want to do. Just be passionate about it, have hope, and then plow on.
Determination, determination, determination. Yeah, which means don't take anything or listen to anything that would tell you otherwise, that you can't do it. Yeah, so you need determination, determination, determination. Don't give up. Yeah, that's what I've heard from the stories. And then there are these other building blocks behind it that gives you support to move forward through your determination. So find out what is it that you're determined you want to do, and then have the building blocks to get there. Yeah, I think that's how I would like to summarize it. And I would like to thank each one of you, wishing you all the very best, and continue being the role models for the rest of us. So thank you.